The Riddle of the Sands, Smiley's People, Moonraker, Shaken Martinis, Coded Telegrams. I'm going to be reading about spies this month, and I hope you'll come along with me. I'm Randy from The Literate Texan, and this is my show where I talk about literature, books, highbrow, lowbrow, anywhere in between. And this is my to be read video, my TBR video for November of 2025, which is going to focus largely, but not exclusively, on spy fiction. Spy fiction, spy novels, been around for about 100 years. I'm going to do my best to read a good survey of the spy fiction and literature of the last 100 years. And I've divided my TBR for the month of November for October. Yeah, it's divided into sections over the last 100 years. But before I forget, check the description down below for a list of my co-hosts on this event. And be sure to subscribe to their channels if you haven't already. I'm going to keep a playlist right here on my channel that's going to have all the Dr. November videos from all the participants. If you make a video about a spy novel this month, you're going on the playlist, okay? It's going to be a big playlist. But yeah, so anyway, I've wound up with this huge TBR. I'm kind of known for making big TBRs, and this is no exception, okay? This is going to be my TBR. I don't even want to tell you how many books it is. I'll tell you at the end of the video how many books are on this TBR. This first section of the TBR I've called The Origins of Espionage. And this is going to cover the spy fiction that was written from roughly 1900 to 1930. A lot of this stuff's in the public domain. But this is when adventure fiction was still kind of disguising itself as spy fiction. There aren't too many differences, although there are some, okay? The first one on my list here is called The Riddle of the Sands. It's a 1903 novel from Erskine Childers, okay? And so it's got boats, it's got coded communications, it's got senses of patriotism, and maybe even a little obsession with patriotism. This is what I understand. I haven't read this one yet, but I'm looking forward to it. But it's also been called the first spy novel, so it seemed like it was a good fit for my Dr. November reading this year. Number 2 on my list is The 39 Steps by John Buchan, 1915. Okay, now this is the origin of the whole man being chased type storyline, and it was made into a movie by Alfred Hitchcock. But you can see this this kind of fiction is really popular, especially in the movies. A man or several men being chased by another man or several other men. And it could be women too, for various reasons. But usually in this kind of fiction, you're rooting for the guy to get away, okay? Probably the best example I can give of this, at least for readers my age, is The Fugitive with Harrison Ford as an example of a man on the run kind of story. Number 3 is called Green Mantle. It's also by John Buchan, and it's also got a similar plot. It came in 1916. And number 4 on my list here is called Ash End. Wait a minute, Ash Endin. It'll be written down in the description down below so that you can read it. My handwriting. These are my notes. I'm reading from notes. W. Somerset Maugham wrote this one in 1922, and this one's real interesting because Maugham was an actual spy. I mean, he worked in the intelligence department, so he's writing from actual experiences in this particular book. So that one's definitely going to be a good one to read, okay? And that one came out in 1928. So that's the first part of the reading from 1900 to 1930, the origins of this literary type. And after those first 4 books, I've got another set of books that I've categorized as morally gray and cold shadows. This says from 1950 to the 1960s. So this is covering a somewhat later period. And this is not a comprehensive overview by any means. 100 years is a long time, and there have been a lot of spy novels written since then. But I'm trying to provide as good an overview of spy fiction as I can for myself in the course of a month, because it's still kind of a new genre to me, but I'm still excited about it. Okay, number 5 on this list is The Quiet American by Greene. This one came out in 1955. This is actually a reread for me. The Quiet American was one of the best novels I read the year that I read it just a couple of years ago. I'm really excited about having an excuse to reread it again. This is a book that I would read over and over again. It was that good. It's also a terrific film too, although some people disagree and don't like that. But it's an example of now we're dealing with moral crises. We're dealing with, well, I don't know what that says there. All right, well, number 6 on the list is Call for the Dead by John le Carré, 1961. Now, you'll see his name come up as the author of several of these books. He kind of towers over spy and espionage fiction for decades. And he's got several books on my list. That's the first one of his books on my list. Number 7 is The Spy Who Came In From the Cold. This is also a reread. I didn't like this one as well as I liked The Quiet American, but it was a good book and it is a reread. I'm looking forward to it. That one came out in 1963, and we're talking about betrayal being traded in for glamour here. This is where the genre takes a quick change towards that. Number 8 on my to-be-read list, and this is where most people would stop. 8's plenty for a to-be-read for a month, but trust me, I'm nuts, okay? I'm really going to do this, too. Number 8 is The Looking Glass War, also by John le Carré, from 1965. And that's the end of that category. Category number 2, that's 8 books, but we're just barely getting started, okay? This next category, this is the biggie, okay? This is the granddaddy. This is the doozy. And you probably already saw it coming, okay? But this one, I've titled this one, Glamour and Danger from 1955 to 1966. That's right. It's the James Bond books. Okay, the original James Bond series consists of 12 novels and 2 short story collections. They were written by Ian Fleming. I'm reading his biography right now, and it's absolutely fascinating. We're talking about a man who created a fictional alter ego for himself on the page, then decided to live like that fictional alter ego, and then basically drank and smoked himself to death, okay, trying to be his fictional alter ego of James Bond. He's smoking 4 packs of cigarettes a day. He's drinking 10 martinis a day. Yeah, he's going for a morning swim every morning, just like his character James Bond does. That's certainly not enough to eliminate the dangers in this lifestyle. There's another video I made where I talk about the James Bond books, and I've got them all listed in that video. I will post a link to that video in the description down below. There's going to be lots of goodies in the description. But yeah, that's 14 books right there. So we're looking at, that's numbers 9 through 22, okay, in that section. So now my to-be-read list is starting to get good. It's 22 books. But I'm not finished yet. It's really big TBR, folks. All right, so then we've got, after that, I've got my next section, which is, I've titled it The Bureaucratic Spy Age. This is the 1970s. All right, and I can remember, folks of my dad's generation reading these books. Okay, number 23, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy by John le Carré, 1974. Number 24, The Honorable Schoolboy, The Honorable Schoolboy by John le Carré. You can tell I'm not familiar with all these. 1979. Number 25 is Smiley's People, also by John le Carré. This one's a 1979 book also. But this is where spy stuff becomes bureaucratic. It becomes a lot more about pushing papers and files and information around than it is about anything else, okay, at this point in the development of the genre. And final part of that is Other Paths to Glory by Anthony Price from 1974. That's number 26 on my list, but that's not when I'm going to read it. I'm trying to read these more or less in order, but this one I'm reading as a buddy read with my friend Mark, who's the host and the creator of Dr. November. Really excited about reading that with him, and we will probably be reading that and making a video about it fairly early too. Okay, and so then I've got parallel and supporting material for my to-be-read for November. I'm not just reading spy fiction in November. I do have a life outside of spy novels, and I plan to continue to have a life outside of spy novels. But some of these are supportive of that quest. Some of them are not. Number 27 on my list is The Cider House Rules by John Irving. I'm reading this as part of an event called The World According to John Irving, and that's our November read. I'm also reading at number 28, The World According to Garp by John Irving. That's just a buddy read I'm doing with one of my friends that's in The World According to John Irving with me. Neither of those have anything to do with espionage. They're just really great novels. Number 29 is The Fellowship of the Ring, J.R.R. Tolkien. Okay, so I host a book club. It's called the Lone Star Book Club. And for the next 3 months, November, December, and January, we are reading the Lord of the Rings in its entirety. And it's not nearly as long as you think when you break it up over the course of 3 months. You're really only reading a chapter a day, maybe 15 pages a day on average. Okay, not as hard to finish that as you think, especially not if you're reading it together with a bunch of intelligent, insightful readers like the folks in our book club. And then, let's see here, what's next on this list? That's, She. That's why I couldn't read it. It's such a short title. She by H. Rider Haggard and Alan Quatermain by H. Rider Haggard. That's number 30 and number 31 on my list. Now we're starting to talk about a TBR. We got 31 books here, folks. But I've committed to reading an hour of H. Rider Haggard per day until I get through his complete works. There's 56 novels. I've estimated that this will probably take me about 2 years, and that's accounting for delays. If I didn't have any delays at all, it wouldn't take a year and a half. But, I understand that life happens. But, in fact, we're having an event for H. Rider Haggard in January. We're calling it Haggard January or Haggarduary. But, yeah, that's going to be a special event. I've got a lot of great co-hosts lined up for that. You'll start seeing announcements for that in late December or maybe early December. I don't know. But, yeah, that's going to be our big January event. So I'm real excited about that. Number 32 on my list, and this is another one I'm probably going to read sooner rather than later. It's Portrait of a Lady by Henry James. This is what I'm doing as a buddy read with Christopher Russell, who's probably upset with me because I'm probably pretty far behind where he is on that one. What I have read some of it, and what I've read so far, I'm really liking it. Number 33 is H. Rider Haggard, the Great Storyteller. It's a biography of Rider Haggard, okay? So I'm pretty stoked about that one. And then I think the very last one, I think this is number 34. I've got a 34-book TBR in November. 34 books. Can I do it? I'm going to try. 34 is The Life of Ian Fleming. Ian Fleming is the guy who created James Bond. And so far, his biography's been just as fascinating as the biography of Rider Haggard that I've been reading. So there you have it. That's my November to be read list, my TBR. Are you going to read any spy fiction this November? Are you reading anything else in November that you want to let me know about? If so, drop your TBR down in the comments or say something insightful about something, or you don't even have to say anything at all. You can put an emoji down there and just make me feel good. That's it, though. That's it for this TBR video. I got a lot of reading to get started on, and I probably better get started at it soon. So yeah, tune in here if you want to know more about spy and espionage fiction, because this is going to be the home of it in November. And, till next time, stay sexy, folks. Stay hydrated and read some good books. Share your enthusiasm with others. I'll see you in my next video.